Before we get into Cosmic Dawns and their experiences, you had a close encounter when you were 12 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was. I grew up in Saskatchewan, and so I grew up in Saskatoon. But my relatives, like my grandparents and some of my aunts and uncles, lived in the south part of the province, sort of close to the U.S. border. My grandmother had a ranch down there, and just outside a little tiny dot of a town called Saint Victor. And in St. Victor, there's like petroglyphs and stuff like that. It's kind of an interesting little historical area,
Mm-hmm.
more sort of like pasture land than the grain belt. And so there's a lot of cattle ranching and stuff down there. And so I used to go down in the summers and spend time with my grandmother because I just liked being down there. It's actually, I shot my first feature, Big Muddy, in around that same area. And so I used to go down there and spend time with her every summer. And one summer I was there staying at her house. It was just me and her and my grandfather. My grandfather was asleep. And I woke up in the upstairs bedroom, and there were all these kind of crazy lights coming in through the bedroom window from outside. And I came down the stairs. I remember looking at the clock before I got out of bed, and it was like 11:32 or something. I can't remember the exact time, but I remember looking at the clock and then going downstairs and going outside. And my grandmother was standing out in the yard, and there were all these sort of brilliant lights sort of up above us, which is sort of similar to how it's presented in the film. That sort of kaleidoscope of colors. And I came outside, and she was just standing there looking at the sky, and I came and stood beside her, and I asked her what it was, and she didn't know. And it maybe lasted 5-6 seconds, and then the colors just kind of like got sucked back as though they went through like a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And the yard went dark, and that was it. And I remember we told my grandfather we saw it the next day. He didn't believe us, and most people that I've told never believed me either, thought it was like Northern Lights or whatever, but it was something a little bit different than that. And then I remember when I went upstairs, the clock was like 4 minutes behind what it was when I went downstairs, which I always thought was like very strange.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's kind of the experience,
Yeah.
I guess.
Was
Just
it
colors. There was no shape, no nothing, no like spotlight, sort of classically shining down on us, like
right on your chest or something?
yeah, like there's no beaming us up into the sky or anything, but yeah.
Was it scary, or like, what was there any kind of emotion, or you just like, that's kind of weird?
I mean, it's just weird and strange, and I don't know. I guess you just at first you're just sort of like, is it like a plane, or what is it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I was 12, so
Yeah.
I don't really remember what I thought. I just remember thinking, this is really weird, and what is going on? And then it was over very quickly.
This has been a notable audio moment hand-picked from My Summer Lair, a podcast hosted by Sammy Younan. Visit mysummerlair.com for all the delightful details.